We get a positive sign or we get a positive symptom. We then investigate where the symptoms are coming from. She had vertigo on right rotation, so we do left rotation first as being the safer of the two. Left rotation is negative, move on to right rotation. Right rotation is positive for the changes in what we were doing. Right rotation there is positive. We move into the differentiation test. First differentiation test, the main differentiation test, cranial nerve exam. New signs on the cranial nerve exam, send it to the doctor. Otherwise, if you want to, you can do another couple of differentiation tests. Body rotation. Fix the head, rotate the trunk to the left to simulate turning the head to the right. What you're excluding in this test, or not stimulating, is the labyrinth. So if they get dizzy now, we can assume that it's not the labyrinth, and it's something else and next to stress. So that could either be the joints themselves or the arteries. We made them dizzy, do another cranial nerve exam. Cranial nerve exam is negative, or we believe it's labyrinth. We can move on to the HOTARD, actually the minimised HOTARD in this case, which is simply right rotation. It's going to be an issue because if they get vertigo, they're going to lose proprioception anyway. But assuming it's not severe vertigo, something else, we can do HOTARD. So we get an obviously positive HOTARD, this type of thing, or you got them to try and touch your eyeballs or their nose or sticking it in their ear. We got a positive one, goes back to the doctor. So, fair enough? Assuming that we're happy that right rotation dizziness isn't being caused by VBI or something else that's nasty, we do extension. If extension is negative, we go into left rotation extension. That's negative. We go into right rotation extension, which for our argument now is positive. We go back and do the whole thing all over again. So every time we get a positive reproduction test, we go through that same differentiation.
But this time when you get to the HOTARDs, you're going to be...
yeah, now you rotate, now you're going to be doing... And your body rotation, you're going to have them sit on the bed. I'll do this with you. You're going to have them sit on the bed, okay? You get them to do extension, which should make them dizzy because they did it before, and then you get to rotate to the left under the extended head. Is that okay? So that should be it. At the end of all this, you haven't reproduced anything that makes you think this is VBI. So you may have reproduced the dizziness, but the cranial nerve exam was negative. So at the end of all this, you don't think there's a VBI problem, fine. But if you haven't been able to reproduce their dizziness, that is, these tests are now negative. When you want to know where the dizziness is coming from, we can go on. We can go on to a decline. So we do the same rotation extension over the end of the bed, supported so there's no traction, but over the end of the bed, and what we've done is change the position of the labyrinth. So now this becomes a labyrinthine test, doesn't it? If they don't get dizzy with this, then we can increase the stress still more by doing a whole pike dix. If they don't get dizzy with this, then it's probably still labyrinthine, but it's probably a horizontal canal problem, in which case you go sideways. Then. What's that called?
It's a roll test.
Yeah, take it down sideways. But I mean, you're getting fairly sophisticated during the test. But what you can be fairly sure of is from that point up. If you don't reproduce it from that point or that point to there, then it's not vertical. Is that okay? But don't do this on people who expect to do that vertical. Because all these tests should do, if you think about Bayesian mathematics here, all this should do is increase or decrease the 90% confidence that you have that it isn't vertical artery. And your switch should be really 180-degree about face. If this is positive, it's positive because we're getting signs or neurological symptoms. And that should switch you from being 90% confident that it's not vertebral artery to 99 point that it is vertebral artery. So it's not just a slight shift in confidence, this is a major about to. Okay. All right.